Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम महापुराण की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, welcome this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Is that text 32, right? We are doing Canto 3, Chapter 16, titled Jaya and Vijaya Cursed by Sages, text 32. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dvasthavadishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Samdhishnyamabhisad. Dvasthavadishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Samdhishnyamabhisad. Dvasthavadishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Samdhishnyamabhisad. Prabhuji's. Dvasthavadishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya. Jushtam Samdhishnyamabhisad. Mataji. Dvasthavadishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Samdhishnyamabhisad. Okay, word for word translation. Dvasthav, to the doorkeepers. Adishya, just directing them. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vimana Shreni Bhushanam, always decorated with first-class airplanes. Sarva Atishyaya, in every respect, extensively opulent. Lakshmya, opulences. Jushtam, bedecked with. Swam, his own. Vishnyam abode. Avishat went back. Okay, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Thus, after thus speaking at the doors of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes, and all surpassing wealth and splendor. Purport. It is clear from this verse that all the incidents took place at the entrance of Vaikuntha Loka. In other words, the sages were not actually within Vaikuntha Loka, but were at the gate. It could be asked, how could they return to the material world if they entered Vaikuntha Loka? But factually, they did not enter, and therefore they returned. There are many similar incidents where great yogis and brahmanas, by dint of their yoga practices, have gone from this material world to the Vaikuntha Loka, but they were not meant to stay there. They came back. It is also confirmed here that Lord was surrounded by many Vaikuntha airplanes. Vaikuntha Loka is described here as having splendid opulence, far surpassing the splendor of this material world. All other living creatures, including the demigods, are born of Brahma, and Brahma is born of Lord Vishnu. Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, in the 10th chapter, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. Lord Vishnu is the origin of all manifestation in the material world. Those who know that Lord Vishnu is the origin of everything, who are convergent with the process of creation, and who understand that Vishnu or Krishna is the most worshipable object of all living entities, engage themselves in the Vishnu worship as Vaishnavas. The Vedic hymns also confirm this. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam. The goal of life is to understand Vishnu. The Bhagavatam also confirms this elsewhere. Foolish people, not knowing that Vishnu is the supreme worshipable object, create so many worshipable objects in the material world, and therefore they fall down. Very nice translation and purport. Okay, let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahabadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Tuishe Namaha Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome back again this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Just before starting my class, as you all are staying here, all are superior Vaishnavas, superior Prabhuji Mataji than me. So my mood is not to teach you, rather my mood is to speak few words which I have been learning from my superior Prabhujis, so that I could please your mind. So that is my mood. So in the purport, there are so many things, very significant things, just like spiritual variegatedness. Prabhupada is trying to bring spiritual variegatedness, and Prabhupada is trying to show like how Vishnu, how Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada is trying to show that. And plus, how ordinary living entities in the material world, because of not knowing that the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is the supremely worshipable of all living entities, they worship they make so many worshipable things, other worshipable things than Krishna. And they got baffled. So like these three things Prabhupada is trying to bring out, giving highlight in the purport. So we'll try to discuss in that things. So at the beginning, what happens is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsu Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Plus there are, in CC also it is said like, Jivera Sorubhaya Krishnera Nityadas. All the living entities are the eternally Das, eternally servant of Krishna. As Krishna is the spiritual jivas, all jivas are also spiritual sparks. All jivas are part and parcel of Krishna and eternally servant of Krishna. Just before falling down to the material world, all the jivas were with Krishna. All the jivas were engaging in Krishna's loving service in their pure state. But in the due course of time, due to certain reasons, they developed mood of enjoying separately from Krishna. Why Krishna only enjoyer? I also want to be enjoyer. So that kind of mood, that kind of attitude they developed, all the jivas. And because of that, Krishna had to create material world. And he sent all the rebellious, all the envious living entities to the material world. And with that mentality, why Krishna only should be enjoyer? I also want to be enjoyer. In that mentality, with that attitude, they come to the material world. And they try to enjoy the material nature. Then try to enjoy the material nature. And they just get baffled. Originally, they are spiritually spark. They don't have nothing to do with the material things, material substances. But they think, this will help me. This will help me to enjoy. I can utilize this to satisfy my senses. They think that way. And they just get baffled. And that's why, when they come to the material world, first thing, they make their own body as a worshipable. They make their own body as the worshipable. And their kinsmen, relatives, worshipable. And their country worshipable. Like that house, money, beautiful wife, children, relatives. They make them worshipable. And they forget Krishna. And they got baffled. They got baffled. What to do? As I already mentioned, they are the spiritual sparks. What to do with the material things? So they try to enjoy, they try to get that enjoyment from their material things. Really, they don't get that enjoyment. And they just get baffled. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada used to often say in the lecture, Yasyatma buddhi kuna petri dhatuke. Swadhik kalatra dishu bhaumai jati jatirtha buddhi salilena karhichid janeshu abhigesu saeva gokhara. The living entities who thinks this body, which is the bag of so many abominable things, so many foul airs, muscles, bone, blood, urine, stool, this everything, this body is nothing, just bag of that abominable things. The person who thinks self to be that bag of so many abominable things, who thinks body to be oneself, and who thinks the bodily relatives to be own, bodily relatives to be worshipable, and who goes to the tirtha. Normally people goes to tirtha. The reason why people need to go to tirtha is to meet with the saintly persons, meet with the devotees of the Lord, and get transcendental knowledge from them, hear Harikatha from them, hear Harinam from them. That's the process, that's the purpose why they should go to the tirtha. But the person who goes to tirtha not to do those things, rather just to take bath, they are all the knowledgeable people, all the intelligent people call them as a saeva gokhara. They are no better than animals. Ash and cows, no better than animals. Actually, when living entities come into this material world, that's the condition of living entities. They make their body worshipable, they make their relatives worshipable. They don't know about Krishna, they don't want to hear about Krishna. Just they go to tirtha just to take bath only, but for the sake of going. And their position is like cash and ash and cows. Their position is just like the animals. Prabhupada used to say, two-legged animals. That is the position of all the living entities in the material world. Yeah, that way they just live their life that way. Not inquiring about the absolute truth. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Not inquiring about absolute truth. They try to live that way. They just waste their life. Lifetime after lifetime, lifetime after lifetime, they become baffled. They just keeps on coming into the cycle of birth and death. That's the result. That's why we should be eager to take the association of the sadhus. We should be eager to hear Hari Katha. We should be eager to hear transcendental knowledge from the saintly persons. Otherwise, the goal of life to understand Vishnu, to understand Krishna, that will be not achieved. That will not be achieved. So this is the things, I just discussed how living entities coming into this material world, they make so many things worshipable. They forget Krishna and they become baffled. We discussed this. Now in the purport, Prabhupada is saying all the other living entities, including the demigods, are born of Brahma, and Brahma is born of Lord Vishnu. Prabhupada is trying to show how Vishnu is the supreme. In the beginning, Krishna is Adi Purusham. He was there before creation also. He will be there after creation also. In the middle, in between the before and after creation, he creates this material universe, material world. He creates by his energy. At first, Krishna expands himself into Mahavishnu or Karanadaksha Vishnu. Just in between the material world and the spiritual world, there is one river that is called Karan Sagar, causal ocean. In that causal ocean, Mahavishnu lies. Mahavishnu or Karanadaksha Vishnu, he lies there. And he just breathes out. Just by breathing out, he creates innumerable material universes. He creates all the material universes. In that state, when first created all that material universes, they all are in inert condition, inert position. They are not active. And then, after creating, Mahavishnu expands himself as a Garbhodakshai Vishnu and enter into each and every universes, enter into each and every material universes. And after going into each and every material universes, Garbhodakshai Vishnu lies down in the Garbhodak ocean. Garbhodak ocean. Garbhodak ocean is nothing but when Garbhodakshai Vishnu goes there, he doesn't see anything. And by his perspiration, he fills off half of the universe. This is same for all the universes. There are innumerable universes, same for all the universes. Garbhodakshai Vishnu goes there and he fills half of the universe for all the universe. And he lies down in that half of his sweat, perspiration. That makes the ocean. That is called actually Garbhodak ocean, Garbhodak Sagar. And he lies down there, and from his navel, the lotus is brought. And on the top of the lotus, Lord Brahma bonds. Lord Brahma bonds there. And Lord Brahma, when he bonds, he doesn't see anything. He just see only himself. He is so bewildered, who I am, why I am here, like that. And he just see the lotus system. And he just goes down lotus system for, 1,000 or some years. He goes down, but he doesn't see anything. Again, he comes up and he hears the voice, Lord gives him the inspiration. As Lord lives in everyone's heart, Lord gives him inspiration. Tapa, like that. And Brahma goes under austerity. And at last, Krishna gives him intelligence how to do creation. And Lord Brahma starts to do creation with the help of the intelligence he got from the Krishna. Like that, Lord Brahma creates. Lord Brahma does creation. That's why Krishna is the supreme. That's why Krishna is called Sarva Karana Karanam. We see everything in this material world, everything is coming from Krishna only. Sarva Karana Karanam. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He doesn't have any origin. Everything is coming from him only. He is the cause of all causes. He doesn't have any origin. That's why Krishna is called Sarva Karana Karanam. That's why Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Same thing Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita also. says in Bhagavad Gita also, what is the verse goes like? He says like, Matta parataram nanyat kinjidasti dhananjaya. There is no one superior to me. In the material world, when living entity comes into this material world, they think, because of their materialistic mentality, because of their materialistic intelligence, they think that the Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or demigods, they are the supreme. Some of them think, oh, all are same. Like that they think, because of their polluted intelligence. But really it is not the case. Really, Krishna is the supreme. Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita, Matta parataram nanyat kinjidasti dhananjaya. No one is superior to me. That's why Krishna is worshipable for all, and we all need to do worship of Krishna. If we do that, that's when only all the miseries, all the problems of life will be solved. Otherwise we will be hoping one day all the problem will be finished. One day I will be happy. We'll be hoping like that. But that day will never come. Unless we take shelter of Krishna, unless we start the worship of Krishna, that day will never come. That's the position of the Krishna, and that's the position of the Jivas. Jivar Swarupa Krishna Ranitidas. That's the position of the Krishna, and that's the position of the Jivas. And Krishna is like Krishna comes like he sees all the living entities coming into this material world, trying to enjoy separately from him. But they want to enjoy, but they are not getting enjoyment. They are being baffled. It is said that Sansara Dava Nala Lead Loka. We sing every morning. Sansara Dava Nala Lead Loka. This material world is nothing. It is compared to the blazing fire. Wherever you go, there is only fire, surrounded by fire only. Sansara Dava Nala Lead Loka. Krishna being the supreme father of all the living entities, he sees they all are fallen in the Davanal, wildfire. They all are trapped in the wildfire. Krishna sees that. And he like being merciful upon all the living entities who are being trapped in the Davanal, wildfire. He sends his devotees. He sends his representatives. Sometimes he himself comes and he gives knowledge as Bhagavad Gita. He gives knowledge like Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the mercy of Krishna. That's how merciful Krishna is. So he sees all the living entities suffering there, and that's why he comes and he says, Sarva dharman paritajya mamekam saranam braja. Sarva dharman paritajya mamekam saranam braja. Surrender unto me. And same way Krishna's representatives come, they also say, Sarva dharman paritajya. So leave everything, leave all the religious principles, all the duties, everything, leave, just surrender to Krishna. That's what Krishna says, that's what Krishna's representatives also says. But in our polluted state, we don't like, why should I surrender to Krishna? We have that kind of mood, that kind of attitude in our polluted state. But if we are in our pure state, in our pure state or original state, we can understand, yes, actually that's true. We can understand. That's why we all are actually, when we come to material world, we are all in polluted state. That's why we have to hear Harikatha, we have to hear transcendental knowledge from the representatives of Krishna, bona fide spiritual master. That's the reason we should hear. So that we can understand what's the point really, what is what, and what I am supposed to do. That's the reason we need to hear from sadhus. Living entities comes into this material world, they think they are completely independent, but they are not. They think they are completely independent. But they are not. As I already said, living entities, for living, what they have to do? They need one house, they have to eat, they have to work, right? But for all that things, they are depending upon Krishna. They don't know that. In their ignorant state, they don't know that. But really, they are depending upon Krishna only. They make the house. Where are they making house? In the earth. Like whose property is that earth? That is nothing but Krishna's property. Nobody, while taking birth, nobody brought anything while taking birth. And at the time of death also, nobody take anything. They comes empty-handed, goes empty-handed. And they just utilizes all the property left here. Whose property is that? Krishna's property. They make house in the land. That is Krishna's property. They eat food For food also, they are depending on Krishna. How? For food, for farming also, they need rain. They need land again, they need right atmosphere, right air, everything they need. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the air, fire, ether, false ego, mind, intelligence, everything is my energy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. That means, for living, for eating, they are depending upon Krishna. And whatever food they eat, they have to digest. For digestion also, they are depending upon Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the fire, the digestive fire is Krishna. Digestive fire is Krishna. And same way, they have to work. For working, they need intelligence. And Krishna again says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the intelligence among all the intelligence of the intelligent people. I am the bal of the balwan. I am the force of all the forceful men. I am the power of all the powerful men. I am the taste in the water. I am the one who is giving light to the sun. And I am the taste, I am the person, I am the one who is giving light to the moon also. That Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Same way, for work, we need to utilize our intelligence. That also coming from Krishna. Most importantly, at night we sleep. While sleeping also, we are taking favor of Krishna. How? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I live in everyone's heart, and from me only all the knowledge, all the remembrance, and all the forgetfulness coming. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita like that. In the sleeping time, night time, how can we sleep? We can sleep because we can forget the whole world. We forget the whole world, that's why we can sleep. While sleeping time, if we happen to remember whole world, oh, what is there going on? What is that going on? Oh, my family, this, that, my job, this, my college, this. If we happen to remember that all things, can we sleep? We cannot sleep. But Krishna being merciful upon us, He is making us forget that everything. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He is making us forget and allowing us to sleep. That's the mercy of Krishna. If we see that, for everything, we are depending upon Krishna only. But this is our false ego, this is our agyan, this is our ignorance, that we are thinking, I am independent of Krishna. Why should I surrender to Krishna? That's the position. So, again, point comes, that's why we should be eager, we should be like humble, we should be receptive to hear all the transcendental knowledge from the saintly devotees of the Krishna. To hear the Harikatha from the devotees of the Krishna. That's the reason. Otherwise, as I already mentioned, the goal of life to understand Krishna, to go back to Bhagam Godhead, that will not be achieved. Very, very hard. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman paritajya mamekam saranam braja. Krishna says, just surrender unto me. Leave everything, just surrender unto me. But it is not that Krishna is like to surrender to Krishna, it is difficult. It is not like that. It is not like that. Krishna is not the ugly man. He is not the ugly man. He doesn't have any good qualities. He is like bad looking, bad quality only. Again, he is saying us to surrender to himself. No, it is not like that. Krishna is the most beautiful one. Krishna is the all attractive. In fact, all the beauty in the material world we see, that is coming from Krishna only. Because Krishna is there, because Krishna's energy is there, that's why you can see the beauty in this material world. Otherwise, this material world is what? Jad. Dead matter only. This dead matter seem to be alive, seem to be beautiful, seem to be nice. Why? Because Krishna is there. Krishna is there as a Paramatma in this earth. That's the reason. I mean to say, Krishna is all attractive, Krishna is all beauty. And Krishna is endowed with so many beautiful qualities. Krishna is so sweet. So it is not very hard to surrender to Krishna. It is very easy to surrender to Krishna. We just need to hear more about Krishna. That is needed actually. We just need to hear more about His energy, about His sweetness, about His pastimes. We just need to hear that more. Everything will be easy for us to surrender to Krishna. Just remembering on how sweet Krishna is. If we see Krishna, the darshan of Krishna, to get the opportunity to see Krishna, it is very, very durlabh. The darshan of Krishna is durlabh, even for the demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Surya, Chandra, like that. For them also very, very difficult to get the darshan of Krishna. But same Krishna for the cows in the Vrindavan is easily available. Krishna is running after the cows barefoot. Krishna is saying, they are my cows. Krishna is going to look after them barefoot. Mother Yashoda used to say to Krishna, my dear son, my dear Krishna, please put shoes when you go to look after cows in the forest. Krishna would say, Krishna used to have 9 lakh cows. Krishna used to say to his mother, first make shoes for all these 9 lakh cows, and then only I will put shoes. Krishna used to say like that. And last time one Prabhu was saying, Mother Yashoda, sometimes while raining, Mother Yashoda used to say to Krishna, my dear son, please put umbrella. Take umbrella with you, it's raining, like that. Krishna used to say, first make umbrella for all the 9 lakh cows, and then only I will take umbrella. Like that Krishna used to say. That means how Krishna is loving to the cows, right? In the one side, he's being very durlabh. His darshan is very durlabh, even for the Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Surya, Adi. But for the cows, he's running after the cows, barefoot. He's playing flute for the cows. It is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, like while returning home from the pasturing ground, Krishna used to play flute to call all the cows. Krishna used to play flute standing in the one point, and all the cows used to come. And sometimes Krishna used to call them by their names only. Kali, Dori, Gori, Sheti, like that Krishna used to call all the cows. Like that's how beautiful Krishna is, that's how sweet Krishna is. And same way, if we see in this material world, everything is trembled, everything is so fearful of the death. Everyone is so fearful for the Yamaraj. But that Yamaraj is working under the instruction of Krishna. Maya Dakshana Prakriti Suyatesha Characharam. Whole material world is working under the guidance of Krishna, under the Adhyakshata, under the superior guidance of Krishna. That's why everyone in this material world is so fearful of the death. But the death personified himself is also fearful to Krishna. The death personified is working under the instruction of Krishna. He is also fearful to Krishna. That's the position of the Krishna. But we see in the Vrindavan Leela, when Mother Yashoda used to take stick in her hand and chase after Krishna, Krishna used to be so fearful and Krishna used to cry. Krishna used to shed tears. Again, that's the sweetness of Krishna. That's the beauty of Krishna. If we see, like yogis may do meditation for many, many years, many, many lifetimes they may do meditation. Still, their mind cannot catch Krishna. Their mind cannot catch Krishna. But same Krishna, when chased by Mother Yashoda, very easily she catches the Mother Yashoda. That's the sweetness of Krishna. That's the beauty of Krishna. And Krishna is like, there is no beginning, there is no end for Krishna. Nobody can bind him. But same Krishna becomes bind by the love of mother. By the love of the mother. Because of the love of mother, Krishna got bind. That's why Krishna is also known as Damodar. When he used to do Makanchori, he used to steal the butter, and all the Brajbasis used to do complaint against him. And one day, like Mother Yashoda got really angry, and she thought to bind him. And she chased after Krishna, she catch Krishna, and at last she bind Krishna also. That's why Krishna is also known as Damodar. That's the again sweetness of Krishna, that's the again beauty of Krishna. The point I am trying to say is, it is not that very difficult to surrender to Krishna. It is very, very easy to surrender to Krishna. Only thing needed is, we need to hear more about Krishna. The more we hear, the more it is easy for us to surrender to Krishna. Same way, there is like Krishna is the Parameshwar, controller of all the controllers. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one particular story, in that story, all the Brahmas from millions upon millions of universe come to see Krishna in the Dwaraka. And they all are paying their obeisances to Krishna. And all the millions upon millions of universe, the Brahmas coming there. And they all had so many Brahmas. They had some Brahmas had so many hairs according to the size of the universe. Some has 1, 300, 1,000, million, like that. They all used to have that kind of head. And they all paying obeisances to Krishna. And their helmet making so tumultuous clang sound. Tumultuous nice sound. The point I'm trying to make is, Krishna is the controller of the controller. If we see, Brahma is the controller of the universe. But all the Brahmas, they are also being controlled by Krishna. They are also paying obeisances to Krishna. That means Krishna is the master of all those Brahmas also. But same master of the all master Krishna, he becomes servant of his devotees. He becomes servant of Krishna, Arjun. And in Kurukshetra war, he becomes chariot driver of the Arjun. And he works as a messenger of the Arjun. He works as a messenger of the Arjun. And if we see, nobody can win Krishna in fighting. He kills all the ferocious demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravan, Kumbhakarna. Like that, he kills all the demons, all the Rakshasas. But in the Vrindavan we see, Krishna plays with his friend. Sometimes Krishna's friends chastise him. Sometimes Krishna's friends beat him. They beat him. They climb above the shoulder of Krishna. I was hearing pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan from my spiritual master. He was saying, Krishna and his friend used to play some game. And whoever lose, the losing team, they will be the donkey. And the winning team will climb upon their shoulder and they have to carry. Like that, they used to play that kind of game. And Krishna used to play with his friends. And Krishna's team used to lose. And when Krishna's team used to lose, their opposite party used to say, Krishna, now you have to become donkey. I have to climb your shoulder. Please become donkey. And Krishna used to say, no, I cannot become donkey. I am the son of the king. I am the Brajendra Nandan. I am the son of the king of the Braj. I cannot become king. I cannot become the donkey. You have to become donkey, like that Krishna used to say. And his friend used to say, you are the son of king only in your house. In the playground, you are our friend. They used to say like that, Krishna. And Krishna refused. No, I cannot become donkey. No, I cannot become donkey. And his friend saying, no, you have to become donkey. Otherwise, we will not allow you to play with us. And Krishna, okay, I will not play. Like that Krishna used to go away. And all the friends used to play. Krishna was just looking at them only. They may call me and I will also have opportunity to play with them. Like that Krishna used to wait for opportunity. But they are playing, they are busy playing, laughing, jumping, playing, enjoying. Krishna is looking at them. They are not calling Krishna. And Krishna starts to cry. And then at last only, Krishna cries there. And at last only, their friends again comes to Krishna. And what happened to you? Like that they ask to Krishna. And Krishna says, you are not allowing me to play with you. Like that Krishna says. And then again Krishna's friend says, then you have to become donkey if you want to play with us. And Krishna becomes donkey. And Krishna's friends climbs over the shoulder of Krishna, and Krishna just take his friend to one point to other point. The point I am trying to say is, that's how sweet Krishna is. In the one hand, he is the controller of the all controller. But in the Braj, in the Vrindavan, his friends chastise him sometimes. His friends makes him cry. His friends makes him donkey. And he's happy to do that. He's happy to take his friends on the climb in the shoulder, in his shoulder. He's happy to get chastisement of his friends. He's happy to become servant of his friends. He's happy to become servant of his devotees. That's how sweet Krishna is. So the point I'm trying to make is, it is not that very difficult to surrender to Krishna. It is very, very easy to surrender to Krishna. The only thing it is needed is, we need to hear more about Krishna. More Harikatha. So that's the point. And we need to hear more about Harikatha. We need to hear more from the sadhus. And then only we can achieve our real life goal, real purpose of our life. What is the purpose of life? It is said, Dharma swansthitaha pumsham viswakshena kathashuyaha nautpadeda yatiratim shrama evahi kevalam. One may go on doing his religious duties, all the duties he may go on performing. But if he doesn't develop the taste, he doesn't develop the eager to hear about the Krishna, then that is the shrama evahi kevalam. That is just only hard labor only. Shrama evahi kevalam. So that's the point. Our life's goal Prabhupada is trying to say in the purport also, the goal of life is to understand Vishnu. Yeah, goal of life is to understand Vishnu. That's why we have to focus on that. When we get opportunity to hear about Krishna from sadhus, we need to hear. So if we do that, then our goal of our life will be easily achieved. Otherwise it is hard. So quickly just recalling whatever point we discussed. We discussed like how how living entities sorry how living entities come into this material world and they make so many things worshipable and they become baffled. We discussed that, and we discussed how Krishna created the whole material universe and how he is the Parameshwar. And we discussed little bit about Krishna's sweetness, Krishna's beauty. So it is not very hard to surrender to Krishna. It is very easy to surrender to Krishna. Only thing needed is we need to hear more. So if we do that, we can achieve our life's goal, to understand Krishna, to go back and back to Godhead, to engage in Krishna's pastimes, like one of his friends. Like that. So that is, with that I would like to end here. If there is any question or correction, please welcome. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada mentioned that great yogis and brahmanas, by dint of their yoga practice, have gone from this material world to Vaikuntha Loka.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you think of any examples which personalities they are?
Actually, I have not heard any of those, Prabhuji. I have not read till date. I know only four Kumaras. I think just last time only we were hearing the story of Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. At that time, Durvasa Muni went to Vaikuntha. Sudarshan was chasing him. He went to Lord Shiva, he went to Lord Brahma, finally he went to Lord Vishnu also. Yeah, there is one example. But again, he had to calm down. So there is one example.
Reflecting on yesterday,
Yes, Roji.
Yesterday's shloka 30 and 31, are you aware of anything which is connected to the pastime of goddess Lakshmi Devi mentioned in the shloka yesterday?
In the sloka?
Yeah, I mean, it's all of a sudden that just one shloka says that she became angry and she actually foretold about this death.
Yeah, I also don't know. Last time I think the other Prabhujis were saying in the class, same thing, like Jai Vijay was, Lord Vishnu was taking rest, sleeping, and Lakshmi was trying to go inside, and Jai Vijay was stopping Lakshmiji also. So I heard from the Prabhujis only in the class only. I have not read anything in the Shastras. I have not heard anywhere else.
And also in yesterday's shloka it's mentioned that
Yes, Prabhuji.
Madhva Muni, do you know who's that? Is that something?
No idea, Prabhuji. No idea. Okay. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.